It's
No
just shy of
sugars.
milk toast.
Yeah.
But it's
It's wheat toast.
wheat toast.
Is there a reason why the tang extends out the back like that?
Yeah,
So when you drop it, it doesn't crack the handle?
So you can
Hammer stuff, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Originally when we made it, it was thicker. And I wanted to be able to pound it into a tree and use it as a step. But it just became a bit unwieldy. It became too much knife for what
Yeah,
for
they're
its
heavy.
primary use. Yeah, it got real heavy.
Yep.
And it got to the point
grind.
where and people then the grinds
The
get really
geometry,
difficult.
man.
So you
Yeah.
accidentally created a stereotypical bush knife and decided to scale it back to something usable.
Yeah, it was overbuilt at first, and we scaled it back so that it was more universally usable and makes a better skinning knife.
Okay. Is that the primary use? Is just jointing and skinning on these things, or
Quartering. You should be able to do a lot of the animal with that one knife, man.
Yeah.
Minus like scraping the eye sockets and going through like the skull and doing stuff like that. Like you should be able to quarter out. You should be able to quarter out your whole moose, skin it, and be able to take it back to hang it, no problem.
okay?
It's only because we had a customer send his knife
Yeah.
in, and he said it dulled and it was horrible, and he wasn't happy with it. But it turns out he was actually scraping the eye sockets with
Trying
it,
to do a Euro mount
and
on
it
a
was
deer.
Yeah.
super chipped up, and you could tell that he had just been hard on it. And
He had basically just squeegeed the entire half
Yeah.
the skeleton of
Yeah, it
this
looked
thing.
like he was just like
Wow.
just like people skin wire. He was just scraping the skull with this thing.
so bad.
And
Why would you do that?
Because it's
he had the wrong tool for the job. Really.
Yeah, he needed a
Right.
keeping knife instead of a skinning knife.
He needed something more delicate instead of he just powerhouse through it, thinking
Yep.
that the knife would handle it and
But I mean, we sharpened him free for life, and so we sharpened it up and sent it back to
send
him.
it back.
yeah,
So
and
all
he's
it
happy.
is.
don't do
Yep.
that. Don't,
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that. It's your knife,
Yeah.
but
You just
That's
got to
right.
send it back.
you just gotta send it back.
Probably
Yeah.
the worst one we've ever seen
Yeah,
come through.
we've never. I mean, we've never had a warranty claim.
Nope.
In 5 years.
5 years.
5 years, we've
Two.
never had one. Well, we did have one warranty claim, and it was something that I missed, where the micarta, since it's layered, it had split right here.
Oh yeah,
And I sent it
the
out.
one that Don has.
Yeah, I
Yep.
sent it out like that, not knowing,
Yep.
Right.
and that one came back. But he came
Yeah.
in the next day.
Hey man,
We take
that,
care of it.
That 0.1%.
Yeah, that's the
You
only
know?
that's the only warranty claim
Yeah.
we've ever had. Other than that, it's just been sharpening.
Yep.
How does the warranty work on this? Like, they just mail it to you if they're out of state, and you.
Yeah.
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 don't
It
do
depends
all
on if you want it sharpened, just mail it in, and then we put your return address on there, and we'll sharpen it up and send it back.
Okay. Is there shipping charges besides sending it in?
We don't usually charge to ship it back. I mean,
Okay.
it's sort of
Yeah, you
included
just
in it.
pay to ship it to us.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
usually like just a
Yeah.
flat rate or whatever you feel like.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes on the first versions, people want us to like soften the corners here because it was too sharp, or soften the back, or some people wanted like it softened or crowned on the top, or the opposite, they wanted it flat so they could use it as a fire starter.
Yeah, you can flip it around, use it on a
Yeah,
ferro
and
rod.
that was also a little bit of what that was for too.
Yeah.
is, we stonewash them to knock those sharp edges off because we had so many requests
Yep.
for it. And if somebody wants, we flatten the back so they can have a fire striker off the back.
Yep.
So they don't have to,
Yeah.
tear up the blade.
And I know bushcraft is kind of a hipsterish, dirty word, but if you want to take this out and use it to make a feather stick or something, it's more than
Yeah.
capable of doing that.
It's a tool. It's used for
It's-
just about everything that
yeah.
you can
Oh,
find
I
a
would
use for,
say-
other than scraping eye sockets.
As long as you're not using it like I
I
use
would
my
say
Schrader.
if you got our baseline one and the N690, you should be able to go out and build any fort you want.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, you
And
can-
the N690 is nice enough that you can sharpen it yourself out in the field if you do dull it down. You don't have to. You can always send it back, but it is sharpenable in the field because it's not as hard as the M390, but it's going to be almost as tough.
Okay.
So, I've done some crazy shit with N690.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but his eyes are like getting super
Yeah.
Should we
squirrely.
mention the other
Yeah.
shields that we offer?
Yeah,
we
sure.
don't have
sure.
them.
I mean,
so
we have, yeah.
we offer it in K110 and L.M.A.K. We just don't have any of them right now.
Yeah.
So we have a couple other knives that we make that we have in K110 and L.M.A.K. Do we have technically 4 or 5 models? Does Mr. Skinner count?
Yeah, I don't know if Mr. Skinner counts.
Okay.
What's Mr. Skinner?
I'd say 3.
It's when we made we have another knife called the Riot, and when we made that, I designed it for a group of.
The Friends of the NRA.
We made it for the Friends of the NRA, and so what they do is we made 20 of them,
28.
28, something like that. They have
Yeah.
shows, and they go and they raffle them off the race funds and stuff like that. And so what we did is so that when I designed it, I let them have that design for a year before we made any, so that somebody could only get it at the show. Because if they missed it at the show, they just come down here and buy it. Well, that wouldn't help out Friends of the NRA at all. We're trying to help them, so we didn't want to compete with them.
Yeah.
So so what I did is we made that, and then we modified it. I modified it and made it. We changed the profile.
Yeah, instead of a recurve, made it a Skinner.
Yeah, instead of a big sweeping blade, we made a recurve modified Tonto, so that it was different. And then that was so popular that we just never got back to the Skinner.
Yeah, we did a couple of them in
Yeah.
N690, and they were pretty nice. They were
Yeah.
just they're different.
Yeah, we made a couple of them, but the Riot's so popular that we wouldn't bother taking our time and energy away from the M.A.K or the Riot right now to make it, only because the other two are exceedingly.
People want them more.
It's hard for us to
blown
keep on
away.
top of them. Yeah, it's really hard for us to keep
And
on
you guys
top
do
of
them in runs where it's like we're going to do 200 in this steel, and then we're going to do 200 in this steel, and it just
Yeah, we used to
circulates
do
throughout the
them
year.
in such small batches that we couldn't keep up. We were always had stuff on back order. Like we do like a couple, like 12 M.A.Ks or like a couple M.A.Ks or Severances, Riots, and we just like could never keep on top of it. So we ended up stopping and buying enough steel to do just shy of like 500 or 480.
Yeah, it was like 440 or 480 something.
480 M.A.Ks, and we still have some of those left. Probably 100 of them left.
Yeah, I counted them. Yeah, we were like 112 or something.
Yep.
In which
left.
steel?
N690 and M390.
Yeah,
M690.
M690 and M390, but I don't know the breakdown of what.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was more M390.
Well, we've been doing so many custom handles lately that I think it's about even now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we did those, and then we bought enough steel to do like 268 Riots.
Right around in there, yeah.
Yeah, and then like first day we sold like 14 of them. So
Yeah.
we had such a long backlist of
Yeah,
people
we
waiting for 'em.
completed 40,
yeah.
44 in the first run. I think it is what we made in the first day or first run, we ran out of titanium, so we did like
Yes.
28, and we sold like 15 or 16 of them like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the first day. We had people that
That
were
was
like, "This
nuts.
was 2 years ago. Like, I thought you guys forgot."
Yeah.
No, if we
But-
say we're gonna call you, we will call you.
But we had to do that because when we were doing them at like 10 and 12 and at a time and taking back orders, they
Small
just-
batch, man. It's
Yeah,
hard to
the
do.
display cases were just empty all the time. We didn't even have
Right.
examples. Even our seconds.
Shit, mine's the example.
Exactly. even the ones we've messed up, but went ahead and completed them anyway. Even those, we have to fight people
I always tell
to
people
not
they
sell
can.
them to them.
Yeah, if they can talk Mike out of it, they can have it.
Yeah, my
Exactly.
own
He
personal
wants-
M.A.K was
he
a
wants
second.
$1,000.
Yeah.
My own personal M.A.K was a second, and
Wait, can you confirm something for me?
What's that?
The M.A.K does exist?
The M.A.K
does,
does
yes.
exist.
Here we
have
go.
a
It does
couple.
exist. Multiples, actually.
Here it is. These are version 2 prototypes. So these are the one. This is probably what the next run is going to be.
Very nice.
They're changed up slightly.
And giant sheath.
A
right
lot
way
of
on the
our
top.
a lot of our problem is because we use premium steel, so we have to fight people for it. So like
You have one.
when we go to Bowler and try to buy M390, we don't tell them we want to buy M390. We ask them nicely if we can buy M390. And so that's why these are in M390 and N690 is because when we try to get steel from Bowler, we have to buy a specific thickness. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We got to keep them. We want to try to keep them the same. We can flatten them out, but you don't want to take 1/4 inch and flatten it out to a 1/5 because then you're wasting a lot of steel. Because you're buying it by weight. And so, like, if they don't have it available, that's it. Then that's what we get to do. So that's another reason why we offer 4 different steels, because that way we can always kind of keep. And that's why when we did the Riots, we bought the steel for the Riots. We did them in L-Max and K110, which is basically D2. We did those 2 steels because
The
that's
Riots
what
are
they
out.
had in 1/4 inch. Yeah,
First generation Riot.
yeah. That was
Mike's
the only steel
original
they had
design.
available in 1/4 inch. So that's what we did.